Alright guys, welcome back to the Summer and Fall Deathmatch Special Tournament for 2022. We've got Andy spawning here in the blue, that's the Spanish, while JulianK, the light blue is the Spanish. We've had two mirrors so far. Andy, fortunate enough to be the winner of the first game. JulianK, we hot out the gates this one, eager to prevent himself getting 2-0 out of this tournament. But wouldn't that be a sight to see? I'm sure the XXDM players would be really excited if that would have happened. And JulianK's even got missionaries here. Some early healing. And he's just now adding militiamen defensively, so he will have the advantage because Andy's will be really low here. But Andy does get the map presence in the sense that he's grabbing this forward base. JulianK. I'm going to add one of these trading posts for natives. And he's going to try pinching one off him though. So you've only got a limited amount of resources to really invest into, but it does give you that advantage of having no population army out on the field over your opponent. So interesting to see how this goes. JulianK might be able to prevent this wall up from going up. Maybe even try and harass, snipe some houses. But he's going to be coming straight past the siege here. So a lot of this is going to get cleaned up by Andy. Andy's pushed out with a bunch of crossbowmen into lancers, so it's been really rough for him. So JulianK has got a really cost-effective trade over on the front side. Really make up for the fact that he's bled a lot of pikemen. The lancers should be able to make good work of these crossbowmen, and the siege will be useful against them, but not as useful as, say, against infantry. So JulianK trying to keep Andy trying to keep JulianK busy with the lancers. So at the players back to front there, with all that commentary, it was Andy who got caught out. At the same time, he's got the lancers, while JulianK's now added a bunch of lancers in, and is shipping all of his cavalry combat cards. Andy's not really shipped a lot in the meanwhile. Here we go, he's adding covered wagons and his fortresses. He really wants to go for a macro hold on the map. I mean, he does have that settlement pinched off his opponent as well, behind the gates. Some delayed chat coming through between our players. So they're trying to wall off this far side of the map while taking this engagement. JulianK seems to have a little bit more even spread of resources in the bank at the minute, but like I said, there's this potential for a bit of a proxy push to maybe disrupt his opponent here by Andy, who's going to start sniping some houses as well. Might be able to take out the factories unless JulianK gets something to clean this up. Though he is pushing forward to try and deal with the foundries. The culverins pick off some siege, but they are going to get cleaned up there by the lancers. And he's still massing up some more forces. Let's see how many houses he can pick off and possibly go for the factories once his opponent is house blocked. So JulianK not quite maxed out here. Neither is Andy though, and he's run out of food for the moment. So getting these natives has really blown through his food. He's got plenty of gold in the bank, so he could really add quite a bit of siege, but he needs to pick up his food eco behind all this. He switched to food out of the factories, which is not ideal because I think you're actually best off having gold or wood from the factories. But a bunch of skirmishes now here for JulianK. He'll be able to clean up these pikemen once again. And so he's going to stream forward, clean up the forward base, and Andy is going to have to throw down a whole bunch of production facilities to try and max out behind this. He's going to be a bit slow too. He is going to wipe out one of the town centers. At the same time, he needs to add a lot more production and maybe even start to tower up. He needs to protect this factory at all costs. At the same time, Julian's now able to really protect himself with some more walls. He's going to switch to haciendas.
¿Qué me ordena?
the haciendas and improved farm building you can even use to train units from. JulianK now really starting to punish Andi for being a bit slow on recovering with production. But he's really able to start massing up and bring everything back home. And the population's a little bit deceptive because he does have so many natives, but he has to be careful to not throw them away against the heavy horse guns here. So he needs to clean them up with the rest of this army before they're able to wipe out all of his native units. It's been a bad fight for Andi because he's been a bit slow to engage with everything up here. He does have those missionaries as well. He can just come in and have tank. He's going to force JulianK back a little bit, but the score's a bit telling. JulianK, he's still up by army size by quite a bit at the moment. Eco sizes are pretty much the same, but yeah, we've got some more lancers joining the field, so this will be handy for Andi. Handy for Andi. He's now actually the only one with the native settlements in the game at the moment. But Julian, meanwhile, is going to add trading posts. But Andi's already snatched one of them. But heavy cannon now for Julian. This will be a big hit to Andi because he's really run out of lances. He didn't really keep any in reserve. So he can't really deal with those. He's got to bring his infantry back. Try and heal everything up. But he needs to try and defend this factory as best he can. JulianK. He's actually not really looking a lot better off in terms of resources at the moment, but he still has a slightly bigger army at the moment. He's shipping lancers through all this. If he can take out the factory and the church, it'll be really tough for Andi to recover from this. So JulianK going to lose a lot of his infantry there, but he's coming back and he's now got some more siege to take the fight. The heavy horse guns going to be under a bit of threat. I think he may have just enough to overwhelm Andi here, who's not wanting to dump wood into gold and then into food to try and recover from here. So he's maybe over-invested in native units early on here in this one, considering he does want to play quite reserved in terms of his spending and reallocating resources at the market. Neither player's really done a lot of it this game. Actually, Julian does have a market there, so I think he's been doing it as he goes. Just making sure he maintains an army lead and continues to push here, and he's doing a great job of it, even without the access to the natives. Although it's probably been a bit of a double-edged sword for Andi, who's now shipped some more lancers. So I think JulianK might be looking to deal the killing blow here. He's still got one of the heavy horse guns, plenty of culverins, so Andi's not wanted to invest in a lot of siege of his own. He's definitely still got the resources to, and I think it might cost him not having any culverins or any horse guns of his own in this fight here. So Julian's going to be able to whittle away at the factory. It looks like he's got just enough to be able to buy himself the time to do so here. There's no harass going on at Julian's base, and GG, and he taps out of game number 2.